Hey guys, welcome back. MTG Moxman here. Little lore video tonight. Primeval Dragons from Dominaria. It's Dominaria Lore Part 2. And hey guys, if you're new to the channel, hit subscribe, join the free giveaways we've got going each month. It's going to be a blast and it's free to do. Thanks a lot for tuning in. This is MTG Moxman. It's coming up next. Hey guys, how's it going? MTG Moxman here. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Now, tonight is a lore video about the Primeval Dragons of Dominaria. There are 5 different types of dragon, one of each color. They're kind of combo colored though. And they ruled over Dominaria for a very long period of time. They are considered the second generation of the Elder Dragons. Now, we remember the original Elder Dragons. That's guys like Chromium, Pallades Moors, Ugin, right? As well as, of course, the most famous of them all, Nicobolus, who slayed most of the guys. Now, these dragons, though, are not as powerful as those, but in some ways they're more powerful. These guys all come from the Dragon. Now, let's see a picture of this here. The Dragon is, I guess, in your screen, center bottom left there. These as a commander card there, the Dragon. Now, he is the essence of all dragons in the multiverse. He's like a giant, shadowy fabric of reality, who wherever he bellows or roars, dragons are spawned from him. Well, he actually laid the first eggs on Dominaria, which gave birth to Ugin, Nicobolus, Pallades Moors, Chromium, and all those guys, okay? They're all from him. Now, the dragons you see here, Croxus the Purger, Dromar the Banisher, Rith the Awakener, Treva the Renewer, and Draxos the Igniter. Now, these dragons are considered second generation because they came after the Dragon's War. They, in some ways, weren't as intelligent, and they ruled much more harshly. They kind of just killed everyone who got in their way, took over everything, and if people didn't do what they wanted, they just totally wasted you. Now, you got to think, the Dragon himself is only represented in that commander card. We haven't seen the guy in like forever in terms of Magic history. He's always there, but not seen, but felt but not seen. I guess is the best way of describing him. He's massive. He's otherworldly. He's kind of like I guess you'd say he's kind of like Titan level, God level type thing, but he filters wherever he needs to go. So he's always felt by dragons wherever he goes, and lends to their power. Now, what happened with these Primeval Dragons is Primeval Dragons, however you want to pronounce it. There was one for every color. Now, the thing about these dragons is when they die, they are actually reborn. They come back again, okay? And they are reborn as a dragon whelp, and they remature every time they die. And they have slightly different lives and different beliefs each time they're reborn, and they try to better themselves upon their last reincarnation, I guess it is. Now, they ruled over Dominaria for a very long period of time. Now, when you look at all these dragons, we're going to go over here, number 1. Oh, that's not the right one. What are we doing here? There we go. All right, Rith the Awakener. Her name means childhood, like baby, right? She was freed from the Yamamaya Forest, but then she went on a rampage, right? She went on a rampage all over the place, terrorizing cities and Yawgmoth and stuff. And then, guess what happens? A whole bunch of tree folk go together, form like a giant tree folk, and swallow her. Tear her from the skies, swallow her, and go back to the Yamamaya Forest. That's like the end of her. Okay? Which is kind of weird, right? Now we're going to get more into that, but it's kind of weird. Can you imagine tree folk just swallowing a giant dragon? But it happened. Now, we see here Treva the Renewer. Gleaming white dragon, okay, she was captured and crucified in New Argave and then put in the basement of their library. She was left there to rot, so her carcass would fall apart. Of course, her soul was still there. She was later freed by the other dragons. And she's one of the ones we're not sure what happened to her. She's not considered dead. She fled with another dragon named Dromar. They took off when the Primeval fell. Now, when all those dragons are freed and out of their prisons, these 5 dragons encompass some all-powerful dragon god. Every dragon on that planet listens to them. There's nothing you can do about it. So if you capture one, you weaken the length of them all. And then they all become much weaker and easier to take care of and be dealt with. And that's what happened. So, the next one up, we've got Dromar the Banisher. He's like a massive blue dragon. And he was captured originally by them building a giant hoard of treasure for him to look at. Well, he had so much treasure, as a dragon they're greedy, he had no other need to be more greedy. He's already had all of his greed fulfilled, so he just sat there staring at his treasure. For the other dragons to free him, they had to burn most of that dragon hoard of treasure away, which woke him up from his, stupor, and then he had more need to go out and get more treasure, or in this case, conquer all of Dominaria, which is awesome. Alright, now we've got Croxus, the Purger. Large black dragon. The scream of this dragon would just kill everyone who heard it. Instantaneous death. Kind of like in the old D&D, like power word kill. Anyway, in this case, this dragon was trapped in the bottom of the Urborg swamp. Okay, and was later freed again by the other dragons, which is crazy. It just didn't happen that way very often. Did I go all of them here? Alright. And of course, the one we're showing on the main screen here, Drags is the Igniter, is the lower right. Now, these dragons are crazy, guys. On their own, they're super tough. Okay? So what happened was, when they first came to being, they ruled the planet because there was all 5 of them at the same time. Later on, they were tricked. What happens is they had their own armies and stuff, but there was these guys called the Numena. The Numena were 5 colored wizards, one of each color, who went out on a mission to take those dragons' powers. And they kind of suckered them in and trapped them in each of the ways I've described to you. They were individually trapped over time. Now, when they were trapped, these Numena took over their powers, captured them, combined it. But they were so jealous of each other that instead of sharing the power 5 ways, which was the plan, they killed the white and green guy off, like just dead. So with the Numena gone, the other 3 took power. Now, eventually they fell into infighting, had a massive explosion, and they all died. Cool. And everyone forgot about that the dragons were still trapped. So now people forgot about the dragons. The Numena are dead. And this is where we would take us up to the rise of the Thran Empire. Now later on, Dragonaz gets freed. Okay? He gets freed, and he's not evil, don't forget. He's a red dragon, he's greedy, but he's not evil. He sees Phyrexia as the threat. So he's convinced by Leshrac to go and free the other dragons. The Planeswalker Leshrac. Convinces him to go free the other dragons. So the other dragons go and free him. And after he frees the Trevia, she mind controls dragons to free all the dragons. Now they're all free, they're super tough. Now at first, Dragonaz, the Igniter, is still helping Urza by this big war. And convinces the dragons to help. All the dragon nations of that planet go and help. But as soon as the war is done, they get all twisted. And they start like trying to take things over. So they basically have to be taken out again. Now, they can't be taken out by anything known on this planet right now. Even Urza and them are not tough enough to take these guys on. So in one instant of touching his brain, Karn touches him and lets him realize, Dragonaz, how evil he's become when he's attacking the Weatherlight ship. He feels so ashamed and mournful that dragon just crashes into a volcano, trapping himself, which breaks up their powers. And that's when they get swallowed by the tree, forced back into the swamp of Urborg for Croxus. And then, which is these guys here. So what you have is Dragon as the Igniter, lower right. He just goes ahead and like crashes into a volcano. Croxus gets forced back into Urborg by Sisay, the Weatherlight captain, using the Weatherlight ship. Rith is recaptured and put in the bottom of Argive. No, sorry, he was the one captured by Yavanaya, by the tree folk. And Trevia and Dromar escape. And they don't say they're dead, by the way. They said they escaped. So we don't know where they are, if they lived their lives and died later, or if they're still alive now on Dominaria in hiding. They don't tell us. They say they're assumed dead. But dragons live tens of thousands of years. In Dominaria's history, they can still be alive now with no problems. So wizards, of course, could always bring them back at some point. The idea that this went on, and this is just like literally a 1-paragraph thing in most timelines of how they do Dominaria, right? It's a very small segment. The Numena get mentioned more than this. But the idea that this is still part of Dominaria's history, and the fact that these dragons existed after the Elder Dragons, which are, of course, the most powerful dragons we know of, but they're all fathered and sired by the Dragon, who, of course, can go to any plane of existence and just plant dragons there, which is kind of cool, is amazing history for Dominaria. And it doesn't really get a lot of talking about. I mean, we have the cards and stuff, but I don't really see a lot of stuff talked about this. And as I'm doing my lore videos, I like to pick on some of these topics, cover them a little bit for people. And since nobody had any requests, I thought this would be a great way to have our night tonight. So, thank you so much for tuning in. This is MTG Moxman, and that was the Primeval Dragons of Dominaria. And hey, 2 of them could still be alive now. The other ones are trapped somewhere there, which means they're not dead either. And they get reincarnated and come back all the time, which is awesome. All right, guys. I mean, Dragon Commander deck. Pretty good idea, right? All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the evening. Please leave comments below. Love to know what you guys think. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for subscribing. Love to have new viewers out there. Everyone, stay safe out there. Have a great one. I know, it's awesome, right? That's amazing! Hey guys, thank you so much for watching Little Army of Darkness tonight. Remember, shop smart, shop S-smart. And what was the evil version of Bruce Campbell called in that movie? Give me it in the quotes, guys. I need to hear it. Thanks a lot.